Hi guys and welcome back to another video on the channel, and this is Chris390 Sorare channel looking at Ipswich Town. So this is my deep dive for Ipswich Town. Now I'm intrigued about Ipswich Town because they've done it before. They've been here before, but they are under new management. So yeah, I'm a little bit intrigued at Ipswich this year because Ipswich have been up before. Now they should have learned a lot from that time when they went up before about how to stay up. Well, you'd hope anyway. And they started really well on Saturday. Let's be honest, they did really well. They got a 2-1 win against Sunderland, and it was a great result, really. So they needed it. Start well at home, make it a bit of a fortress up at Portman Road. But yeah, let's get into it. I think their prices are decent. Do I think they're a bit high? Yes. If you look at how cheap the whole stack was, I do think some of these players are pricey, but then they are known for scoring quite well. So yeah, I think Ipswich will do all right. I think they're going to be. I think, if in my opinion, from what I've done so far, I think it's going to be Coventry 20th. Unfortunately, I think it's going to be the whole 19th, and I think it's going to be Ipswich 17th or 18th. So they're going to be the ones on the cusp. Now, looking at their squad, like they've got a good squad. So I was going to look at this. So Kel Sherpin, new signing. Now he's come from. I believe he's come from Union St. Gilloise. So he had a spell at Brighton as well, interestingly. But he looks quite tasty. A lot of people when I've done a live stream and I was looking at building my own so rare budget Premier League team, and Kel Serpin was actually one that came up. A lot of people actually said back him, he might be quite a good goalkeeper. So yeah, I think they got themselves a good goalkeeper, Ipswich there. So that's kind of an upgrade on Christian Walton, who's still a good goalkeeper, but definitely an upgrade in that sense. Looking at defence again, I think Ipswich are a lot are very much open to change, and I'll be interested. I'll probably actually go through the starting lineup that they used on Saturday because that'll give us a bit more of an idea. So Dara O'Shea at right back, he's been pretty standard for them. But they've also got Darnell Furlong, and they who can play there. Dara O'Shea can move inside. Issa Diop had a good World Cup. I think it was from Morocco, wasn't it? Yeah, Morocco. He actually did quite well. Issa Diop. Jacob Greaves, good centre half. IT's slightly more Championship than Premier League, but hopefully he can prove himself wrong. So they did spend big money on him when they went up last time. So let's hope he can prove them wrong. And then you've got Leith Davis, who's a great left back. I think he could go on and play a higher level than Leeds, Ipswich, sorry. So yeah, a good signing, but I do a good player, sorry, but I do think he could play a high level. These two in midfield, this is quite a strong defensive midfield. Sasa Lukic, obviously well known to the league at Fulham, so that's a good signing they've made there. Marcelino Nunez, again, bought him from the Championship, came from Norwich, so they came from their rivals, but played really well last year. He's got that bite about him, Marcelo Nunez, that I actually quite like. It's actually what I quite like about this whole team. They've got a bit of bite about them, like Nunez, Lukic has a bit of bite. That's Maida, Enciso. They've just got a bit of bite about them. I like it. I don't know how actually got a rework front four in there. I mean, they've signed Enciso on a permanent, which is a fantastic signing. Surprised Brighton letting go. I think Brighton could have still used him personally. Fatawu, good signing on the right from Leicester. We all knew he could do it in the Premier League when he was there. Probably can't believe how many seasons he spent in the Championship of Leicester. Um, Even when they went up the time before, I think he could have gone on. But he went down with them last year. So it'd be interesting to see how he does fare because I thought he might have kept them up personally, but he's now moved on. Maybe a new club might actually help him to strive to the level he should be at. That's Maida always proved it in the Scottish League with Celtic. Be interesting to see how he does in the Prem now. And Emerson's a bit of an unknown quantity, but he did actually play quite well. So Emerson is from Toulouse. So he played 32 games, 7 goals. So not the most prolific goal scorer, but he did play quite well on Saturday for Ipswich. So hopefully they got themselves a decent striker there, and that actually might end up being a guy who gets 15, 20 goals for him. Now looking at players coming in for Ipswich, so they are also linked with a few players, which there are some big names here if they can pull them in, like Renato Sanchez, similar to Hull. That Unani also linked with Unai, sorry, linked with Holdswell, but again, great player if you can get him in. Jesus, that'd be a fantastic signing. Gabriel Jesus in that would really step it up. Ling was some quite good name. Patrick Berg's been quite good, especially for Norway. He was good in the World Cup. Claudio Braga's quite doing quite well at Hearts. Alexandro's a good defender for Lille. Like they're linked with some really good players. Whether they come in or not will be a different case. You get two or three of them in, you then start going. Ipswich will probably stay up, maybe, or like, oh yeah, Ipswich might stay up. And then players they're looking at losing, Mehmeti. Well, he was bought in from Bristol City last year, and I don't think he really cuts it in the Prem. I think he's good Championship, but I don't think Premier League. And Jaden Philogene, probably a bit of a loss. I think he's got something to offer in the Prem, but then there are some big clubs looking at him, and 20 million for Jaden Philogene, not bad. I'm surprised I want to get rid of him, but I do get it. The end product isn't quite there. So, I mean, they were old rumors, so hopefully he's now going to stay and he'll be part of the squad. So that's good for Ipswich. And they can add a few more. I think they'll be really strong. So yeah, Ipswich are going to be all right. I don't expect Ipswich to be too weak. Like they're not going to be the team that rolls over each week and gets battered, in my opinion. They could do, but I just think they've got a little bit about them, especially with the bite and some of the personalities in that squad. I don't think they'll be rolled over, and they've got some good experience in there. So, with that being said, let's build my five-man squad for Ipswich. So, in goal, pretty obvious. I'm going to go Kjell Sherpen, and for my backup will be Christian Walton. Okay, if you were to buy the backup goalkeeper. Defender, I'd buy. Oh, I mean, that you could go for a couple here, but I think Dara O'Shea is known. Jacob Greaves is very consistent. That's the only thing I will say about Greavesy. Every time he plays is consistent, but my worry is those gaps, the injury proneness could be an issue. Issa Diop at £6 might be a good shout. Remember, his scores are going to look bad because he didn't play that much last year, but he's now a starting defender um, for Ipswich. So at £6.50, I'm probably going to go Issa Diop, actually. I think that's a good shout. I think he might be a bit one that goes a bit under the radar. Now, obviously, they've made some good signings as well. Like they've got Florentina, he came from Burnley, and they've got Sasa Lukic in, which is a good signing. And actually did all right Saturday. In fact, we'll have a look at Saturday's points now. They did all right. So obviously, top scorer Emerson scored. There's some good scores. Like Darrell Shea got 6-7 without him having to get decisive. Um, Jay Cruz picked up 50. Fataro 56 without decisive. And then you've got your boys who got assists. He got a decisive for a clearance off the line. Okay, so Marcelo and Nunes got decisive for that. So be interesting to see what he scored without that. That's a my didn't have a very game. Emerson 77. So yeah, for me, I think you could there's a few like players like Sasa Lukic at £5 is pretty good. You could get NC at 19, but and he will get a lot of assists and a few goals, but if you want the consistency in the tackling side of it, Sasa Lukic or Nunez would be absolutely fine for you. Um, you are asking for my opinion. If I was on a budget, I'm going Sasa Lukic. If I'm going premium, I'm going Julio Enciso on that one. And then up front, I'm going Emerson. Um, Emerson is definitely going to start. He's the most consistent player that they're going to have in there. Got a lot of forward players that just don't really offer much. I would actually go back to the midfield and have two midfielders, I think, on this one. So for me, my five-man stack is going to be Kel Sherpin in goal. I'm going to go Issa Diop at the back for defender. I'm going to have my two midfielders. I'm going to go with Julian Ciso and I'm going to go Sasa Lukic. And I'm going to finish with Emerson up front. That would be my five for Ipswich. I think that's the five that could generate the most points. I do think there's times where you could make points of that. I still think it's a little bit overpriced. I mean, if actually what you're going to get out of Ipswich, like you may have got something this weekend. In fact, you may have got something this weekend that actually got you enough to get your money back. But yeah, I just don't know if Ipswich is a funny one. I don't know if they're going to sustain it again. I think they're going to be a struggle. I don't think they're going to be your best point scorers. So for me, there's value. There is value in it, but there also isn't because they're not going to score you that many essence. And as a season, especially in limited, as season goes on, and we're looking at like more people joining limited competitions such as the Premier League, we're going to see, especially with the crafting coming out this Tuesday, these prices will start to drop. So I think it's which I would avoid right now, and I probably wouldn't build a stack unless you're going to use it for street. I definitely wouldn't enter arena with. Oh, you could enter arena with it, but I don't think it's going to be. They're never going to win 4-5 nil like a Arsenal or a Chelsea might. So yeah, you've got to factor that in when you're spending that. That you may get some essence out of it, so that you may craft players that end up yielding the money back. But yeah, it's gonna be a tough one with the Ipswich stat. But yeah, hope you like the video. If you did like the video, please like, subscribe, and comment anything you want to talk about Ipswich. Like I said before, keep an eye out for streams on Twitch and YouTube. I'll be live on YouTube, be live on Twitch. Trying to grow my Twitch so I can get affiliated. So if you want to drop a follow on my Twitch, that'd be fantastic. But I'll always be live on YouTube as well, so don't worry, I'm going to be simultaneously live on both. Got some good streams coming up, got some good ideas, and I've got more of these videos coming out. So, yeah, I hope you like the video, and I will see you on the next one. Thank you. Bye bye.